afternoon. I'm here to present my Stacks and Queues CLC assignment 2. So let's get started. So when you're using stacks, if you're going to add an element or push an element and you're going to use an array, it's O1 on average, but it can be ON if resizing is needed. So it's just constant. Same for a linked list, since you're just adding to the head over and over again. If you're going to remove an element for an array, it's going to be constant. Same for linked list, it's just going to be O1, and you're going to be able to do those things really quickly. So why use a stack? A stack is implemented with a linked list that allows for constant time push and pop, which is what we were kind of talking about with the big O notation. Even though an array-based stack can have constant time, it doesn't always, just because of resizing. So when you should use a stack, and here's my little visual with the stacking books, right? First in, last in, first out, LIFO. When should you use a stack? Use an array if you have a rough idea of the maximum capacity. So if you know what size it needs to be and you know it's not going to need to be resized, go ahead and use an array. Otherwise, use a linked list if you need a more dynamic size. So then let's talk about queues. So on queue or in queue, depending on how you want to pronounce it, is adding an element, also constant in an array, unless it needs to be resized once again. And it's the same with the linked list. It's going to be constant when you're adding to the tail. So a dequeue or removing an element is going to be ON, since all of the elements usually have to be shifted. Like if you're going to take one out of the middle, everything has to be moved, right? And for a linked list, it's going to be constant when you're removing from the head. So a queue, why use a queue? A queue is implemented with a linked list, is typically more time efficient for on queue and dequeue operations, just because it's constant. This is because in an array, dequeuing requires shifting all of the elements around to make it, so it makes it an ON operation instead of a constant. So use an array if space is a concern and the queue size remains relatively constant, right? So we always want to use an array unless we're resizing, in which case you want to use a linked list because it makes your time a lot faster. It's a much more efficient algorithm. And that, I believe, is all. So thanks.